Hello students, so today we will be starting with a new chapter. The new chapter name is Formation of Solar System, the Evolution of the Earth and also the Formation of the Planets. So this chapter is the second chapter of class 11 book of geography, that is the physical geography, and today we will be understanding how the solar system has been formed and how the planets came into evolution as well as our planet Earth. So let us discuss. So today we will be understanding about the solar system. So what do you mean by our solar system? You see, our solar system is the part of the galaxy, of our galaxy, Milky Way. So the name of our galaxy is Milky Way, and Milky Way is a very big galaxy, and where the solar system, where there are total 9 planets and the sun, are part of the solar system, and the solar system is part of the Milky Way galaxy. So today we will be understanding how our solar system came into evolution. So, our solar system consists of 9 planets. The 10th planet, 2003 UB 300, wait. UB 313 has also been recently sighted. The nebula from which our solar system is supposed to have formed started collapse and core formation sometime 5.6 billion years ago, and the planets were formed about 4.6 billion years ago. Now, if I talk about our solar system, there are total 9 planets in our solar system, and the 10th planet name is 2003 UB 313 was also being discovered by the other scientists. Also, you see, if I talk about the solar system has been formed from the nebula itself. The nebula from where the stars have been formed. The stars were being formed from the nebula, and from the nebula itself also the other solar system has been formed. You see, due to its collapse, you see first it collapsed. From the collapse of the nebula itself, the solar system has been formed, and the solar system was formed nearly 5 to 5.6 billion years ago. Yes, 5 to 5.6 billion years ago it was being formed, and the other planets also. If I talk about the other planets, it was being formed 4.6 billion years ago. Yes, the planets has been formed 4.6 billion years ago, and these are all formed from the nebula itself. Now the second comes, the solar system consists of the sun, 9 planets and 63 moons. Yes, you see, there are other planets. Like one of the moon, Titan, is present in the planet Saturn, and our moon is present in our planet Earth, which means our Earth has only one moon, and there are total 63 moons in Saturn. So one of the name of the moon is known as Titan in Saturn. So I am just giving an example here. If I talk about our solar system, there are total 9 planets. 9 planets are there, one sun is there, and there are total 63 moons altogether counted. So as a result of the smaller bodies like asteroids, comets, and huge quantity of dust, grains, and gases, out of the 9 planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars are known as the inner planet, as they lie between the sun and the belt of asteroids, and the other 5 planets are called the outer planets. Now, you see, if I talk about the solar system, there is one sun, 9 planets are there, and 63 moons are there. You see, the planets between the sun and the asteroid belt are known as the inner planet. They are comprised to be as the inner planet, and the planets beyond the asteroid belt are known as the outer planets. The outer planets such as the Jupiter, Saturn, they are known to be the outer planets. Now, here, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, they are comprised to be as the inner planets. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are comprised to be the outer planets. So in this way, only our solar system has been divided. Also, you see, if I talk about our solar system, 9 planets are there, 63 moons, and 1 sun is there. Also, the asteroids are there and comets are there. They also form the part of the solar system, the asteroid belt. And now, where the asteroid belt is located? The asteroid belt is located between the Mars and the Jupiter. Between the Mars and the Jupiter, the asteroid belt is being located. Now, alternatively, the first 4 are called the terrestrial planets, meaning Earth, like as they are made of rock and metals and have relatively high densities. The rest 5 are called Jovian or gas giant planets. Jovian means Jupiter-like. Most of them are larger than the terrestrial planets and have thick atmosphere, mostly of helium and hydrogen. Very, very important. Now we will be understanding about the 2 types of planets. One comes the terrestrial planets and another one comes the Jovian planets. Now, if I talk about the terrestrial planets are made of rocks and metal. They are comprised of rocks and metal. And if I talk about the Jovian planets comprised of gases, the helium and hydrogen. You see, if I talk about Jupiter, Jupiter is an example of one of the Jovian planets, which is being made of hydrogen and helium, and also it is known as the gas giant planet. You see, if I talk about our planet, Mercury, Venus, Earth and Mars, these are considered to be as the terrestrial planet because they are all comprised of rocks and metal. They are made of rocks and metal. But if I talk about the Jovian planets, these are gas giant planets. These are comprised to be as the gas giant planets. As they are comprised to be as the gas giant planets, they are made of helium and hydrogen. I hope you have understood about the terrestrial planets and the Jovian planets. Also, we have understood about our solar system, that how the solar system has been formed. Now, you see, here this is one of the picture of the solar system. This is the rough picture of the solar system. You can see here the terrestrial planets. Here you see the 4 planets are comprised to be the terrestrial planets and other the gas giant planets. The gas giant planets are comprised to be the Jovian planets. So you see, this is the picture of the solar system, and this is the asteroid belt. This is the asteroid belt, and the asteroid belt is present between the Jupiter and the Mars. The asteroid belt, I mean to say, the asteroid belt is present between the Jupiter and the Mars. I hope you have saw the asteroid belt here, and you have saw the terrestrial planets and the Jovian planets. Now we will be understanding about the differences between the terrestrial planets and the Jovian planets. Now you see, the terrestrial planets were formed in the close vicinity of the parent star, where it was too warm for gases to condense to solid particles. Jovian planets were formed at quite a distant location. Now if I talk about the terrestrial planets are close vicinity to the star sun. Yes, the terrestrial planets are quite nearer to the sun. They are quite nearer to the sun. As a result, what happens? Due to the warm gases only, it has been condensed and converted into a planet. Now, if I talk about, it was too warm for gases to condense to solid particles. Now, terrestrial planets, those terrestrial planets are comprised to be as the solid particles. They are made of solid particles. They are made of rocks and metals. Why? Just because they were very close approach to the sun, the parent star that we call about. They are very close to the sun. As a result, due to the warm gases only and due to the warmth of the sun, it has been converted and condensed into solid particles. Now, Jovian planets are quite at a distant location. They are quite at a distant location from the sun. As a result, they are comprised to be as gas giant planets because they are fully made of gas such as helium and hydrogen. Now, the solar. You see, the solar wind was the most intense nearer the sun. So it blew off lots of gas and dust from terrestrial planets. The solar winds were not at all that intense to cause similar removal of gases from the Jovian planets. Now, if I talk about the solar wind, you see, from the solar wind itself only, those terrestrial planets were condensed into a solid particle. Those converted into rock and metal and was converted into terrestrial planets. Now, the solar winds were not at all intense to cause similar removal of gases from the Jovian planets. As you see, Jovian planets. Now, if I talk about the Jovian planets, they are very much away from the sun. As they are very much away from the sun, they haven't got the warmth from the sun. As a result, there was no condensation into solid particles. As a result, they were not converted into rock giant planets. They are converted into a gaseous planet, which means those warmth of the sun haven't removed all the gases from those planets. Here you can see the solar winds. Now, if I talk about the solar winds was very much beneficial to the terrestrial planets. The solar winds was very much beneficial to the terrestrial planets, but the solar wind was not much beneficial to the Jovian planets. They were not much beneficial to the Jovian planets. As a result, what had happened? The gases from the Jovian planets has not been removed just because they haven't got the warmth of the sun. The solar winds. If I talk about the solar winds come from the sun itself. The terrestrial planets are smaller and their lower gravity could not hold the escaping gases. Now, if I talk about the terrestrial planets here, you see, terrestrial planets, they are very much smaller in comparison to the Jovian planets. Also, as a result, they have much less gravity in comparison to the Jovian planets. So, these are the differences between the terrestrial planets and the Jovian planets. I hope you have understood regarding the Jovian planets and the terrestrial planets. Again, the formation of the planets. Now we will be understanding about the formation of the planets. Now, how the planets are being formed. You see, the following stages in the formation of planets are as follows. The stars are localized lumps of gases with a nebula. The gravitational force within the lumps leads to the formation of a core to the gas cloud and a huge rotating disk of gas, and thus develop around the gas core. Now, if I talk about stars, here first comes the stars. The stars are comprised to be the localized gas clumps around the nebula. Now, here if I talk about stars, stars are localized lumps of gas. They are localized lumps of gas within a nebula. From this nebula itself, the planets were being formed. Now, the gravitational force within was so intense. The gravitational force within was so intense that to the formation of a core to the gas cloud and a huge rotating gas and dust develops in the gas core. Now, you see, again, let me tell you it very clearly, like star. The star was comprised of the lumps of gases within a nebula. Now, it is a nebula. It is a nebula. Here are a lot of stars. So as a result, due to the much gravitational force, it converted into a rotating disk. And those disks created a gas core. It has created a gas core all around. Now, in the next stage, the gas cloud starts getting condensed and the matter around the core develop into small rounded object. The small rounded object, by the process of cohesion, develops on what is called planetesimals. Now, very, very important, you see here it is the gas core. The gas is being formed around. The nebula. As a result, what had happened, all the rotating disk was becoming condensed. Slowly it was becoming condensed, and that condensation has resulted into the formation of the planet, and that formation of the planet are termed as planetesimals. That formation of the planet, the process of formation of the planet, is considered to be as planetesimals. Now, here the small rounded objects. Now, as there was the gas core, there were small rounded objects. Those small rounded objects developed by the process of cohesion. Very, very important, by the process of force, you can say. Here you see comes the cohesion, means force. Here comes the force. Due to the force itself, all the small rounded object has been produced. The small rounded objects has been produced due to the process of cohesion, and that process of cohesion is termed as planetesimals. Now, large bodies start forming by collision, and gravitational attraction causes the material to stick together. Planetesimals are large number of smaller bodies. Now, if I talk about the planetesimals, you see larger bodies. The larger bodies has started to form with the help of collision. As a result, those attraction causes the material to stick together. Now, if I talk about the larger planets are all formed due to the gravitational force, because the gravitational force was very much intense, and it has been formed due to the process of cohesion. Due to the gravitational attraction is there, and due to the process of collision or cohesion as well. First, if I talk about the larger bodies first have been formed due to the process of the gravitational force, and also due to the process of the collision. Collision means, like, pushing each other. That collision force is known as pushing each other. Due to the process of collision, also the large bodies has been formed, and this stick together. Planetesimals are a large number of smaller bodies. Now, if I talk about planetesimals, it may come as filling the blanks. They are large number of smaller bodies, which means the small planets are also termed to be as the planetesimals. Now, in the final stage, this large number of small planetesimals accrete to form a fewer larger bodies in the form of the planets. Now, if I talk about the small planetesimals, first the small planets came. The small planets came and then the large, bigger planets came. First came the small planets. Those small planets accrete to form a fewer larger bodies. Those small planets accrete to form a fewer larger bodies in the form of the planet. First you see came the small planets. The small planets are there, from those few only they have been collided with each other and has been formed into a bigger planets. Only the few bigger planets has been formed during that time. First came the small bodies which are considered to be as the planetesimals, and that planetesimals were converted into the large planets. I hope you have understood this one. You see, first, if I talk about the first stage comes the process of the nebula. From the nebula itself, due to the gravitational force, that gravitational force has created a gas core. Gas core around the nebula. As a result, it has been forming into the planets, which means the gravitational force was very much intense. Also, the next stage you see the gas cloud, which means now, as due to the gas core around those small objects has been condensed. It was condensing to form into a planet. Those were being condensing to form into a planet, and this process is termed as the planetesimals. That process is termed as the planetesimals, and as a result, first of all, the larger bodies. If I talk about the larger planets, it has been formed by collision, which means pushing each other and gravitational force. The process of collision and pushing each other has resulted into larger bodies of the planet, and the smaller bodies are comprised to be as the planetesimals. Now, if I talk about the planetesimals in the final stage, first the small planetesimals were being formed. The small planetesimals were being formed, and those small planetesimals, due to the gravitational force, has attracted each other and formed into bigger planets. I hope you have understood about the formation of the planets. Now, we will be understanding very important the evolution of the earth. Now, how our earth has been formed and what were the characteristics that has led to the evolution of the earth. Now you see, the earth has a layered structure. The earth has a layered structure from the outermost end of the atmosphere to the center of the earth. The material that exists is not uniform. The atmospheric matter has the least density. Now, if I talk about the earth, very much important. Now, if I talk about our planet Earth has been formed by different layers. It has been formed by different layers, and if I talk about the atmosphere, it has least density. Our atmospheric pressure is very much of least density. So it has been formed by different layers if I talk about our planet Earth. And second comes from the surface to the deeper depth. The Earth's interior has different zones, and each of this contain material with different characteristics. Now, if I talk about our Earth interior, it is made of different metals. Here, everything is made of different metals. Non-metals are there, and the other part, like the upper part, is made of gaseous state, you can say. Now, the earth was mostly in a volatile state during its primordial stage. Due to the gradual increase in density, the temperature inside has increased. As a result, the material inside started getting separated depending on their density. This allowed heavier materials to sink towards the center of the earth and the lighter ones to move towards the surface. Now, if I talk about the earth, our earth was very much sensitive when it was in a primordial stage, which means the beginning of the stage when the earth was being forming. It was in a very volatile stage, which means a very beginning stage, you can say. During that time, what had happened, those were the deeper particles or the denser particles. They all attracted into the center. The denser particles all attracted into the center, and the lighter particles came outside. The larger particles came outside. You see, now, due to the differences of the density on our planet Earth, due to the difference of the density, if I talk about density word is very, very important. Now, due to the difference of the density itself, our Earth has been formed and the materials were being formed in different ways, which means those which are denser materials, which are heavier materials, they went inside the center of the earth. They went inside the center of the earth, and the lighter materials, they were on the outer part of the earth. They were on the outer part of the earth. So you see, due to the difference of the densities only, the earth has been formed, and it has been formed layer by layer. Also you see, due to the gravitational force. Now, as there was much density, the gravitational force, the temperature inside also increased. Now, due to the gradual increase in density, now as there was gradual increase of density, as there was gradual increase of density, there was gradual increase in temperature as well. There was gradual increase in temperature as well, and as a result, those material which were inside were getting separated due to the density itself. Due to the density itself, the material were getting separated. The material were getting separated, and the heavier metals, the heavier materials came into the center of the earth, and the very lighter material came outside. Now, with passage of time, it cooled further and solidified and condensed into smaller size. This later led to the development of the outer surface in the form of a crust. Now, if I talk about the inner part, if the inner part of the earth, as I'm talking about, it first solidified. It first solidified and then converted into a small planet. And converted into a small planet, slowly the outer crust has been formed. First, the core has been formed. You can say the earth has a core. It became solidified and condensed. It became solidified and condensed to form into a smaller size, and then formed the upper crust. The upper crust has been formed afterwards. After the smaller planet has been formed, slowly, layer by layer, the upper crust has been formed. Now, it is through the process of differentiation that the earth forming the material got separated into different layers. Starting from the surface to the central parts, we have layers. Now, if I talk about the differentiation, you see, due to the differentiation of the density of the earth itself only, the different layers of the earth has been formed in a very different way. Also, as a result, the different layers were being separated. The different layers were being separated, and due to the density of the earth, due to the temperature, due to the increase in the temperature only, the different layers have been formed in different parts of the earth. Also, you see, starting from the surface to the central parts, we have layers like crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. As I talked about the heavier materials, those heavier materials came inside the crust of the earth, or you can say the center of the earth. Those heavier materials were being attracted. You see, those heavier materials converted into layers like. Now, what are the layers? First comes the crust, second comes the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. First came the core, the mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. In this way only our earth has been formed. First came the core itself, the mantle, the inner core, and the outer core, and then our lithosphere came into existence. Then troposphere came into existence. Slowly, the different layers of the earth has been formed due to the differentiation in the density and the temperature. So, now you see, here you can see the picture that how our earth has been formed layer by layer. Now, this picture has been given so that you may understand the layers of the earth. First comes the inner core. Yes, the inner core comes. First, due to the differences of the density and due to the differences of the temperature itself, the inner core has been formed. Then came the outer core. This is the outer core of the earth, and then came the mantle. You see, if I talk about the mantle, there only the volcano lava is present. The volcano lava comes from there only. Here you see, these are all formed of lava, and here comes the earth's crust. The earth's crust is the covering of the earth, you can see. And then slowly the earth's crust has been formed, and then the troposphere has been formed. Slowly the other layers of the earth has been formed. So this is the picture of the formation of the earth, the structure of the earth, you can say. First comes the inner core, the outer core, the mantle, and the crust. Now, here, this is a brief description regarding the formation of the moon, that how the moon has been formed. As you can see here, the moon has been formed due to the collision with the earth. The moon came from the earth itself. First, you see, this is the beginning, the primordial stage. The primordial stage is there when the moon and the earth is colliding with each other. And due to the collision itself only, slowly, the moon is coming out. The moon is coming out. Here, the moon already came out, and then it has been solidified and condensed, and then formed, and the formation is into the moon. This is the earth and this is the moon. First, the earth was completely like, a barren land. The earth was completely a barren land, and due to the increase in the density and the temperature itself, it was converted into the earth. It was converted into the earth, and it was converted into the moon itself. You see slowly how our moon and earth has been formed due to the collision, and due to the decrease and increase of the temperature and the densities has formed the earth and the moon. I hope so you have understood about the formation and the structure of the earth. So let us revise what we have studied today. We have studied about the formation of the solar system, the formation of the planets, and the evolution of the earth. I hope so you have understood my class, and if you want to know any of the courses regarding the Bhadra Academy, then you can contact us in this number 86383 91721. And thank you for watching my class.